Good.
All right. So if you have elbow pain, especially this tennis elbow thing or this golfer's elbow thing, I'm going to give you some exercises to help with that. So the first thing I want you to do a nice little massage on your forearm. You have muscles on either side of the forearm. So I want you to kind of get in on those. You can also kind of work down the forearm a little bit. This higher part is going to be where more of the muscle bellies are. So that's kind of the first area I would work. You could do it with your knuckles for convenience, or you could do it with like a lacrosse ball or something like that to help you really get in there on your own. Give yourself a massage. Then what you do, simple little stretch. This is more for the muscles right there. So you're gonna notice how when I do it, I have my hand like this, and I grab more so at the palm rather than just at the fingers. I want you to go a little lower, otherwise you might kind of strain these tendons. Doesn't feel that good. So you're gonna pull like that, and then also you might want to do with your hand deviated a little bit this way. That'll feel a little different stretch, and also you can do it that way, little different stretch. Point is that you get 3 sets of 20 seconds total for that front of that forearm. Unless you want to do more, you're always welcome to. Then the next stretch is the opposite. You have the hand down here. Again, I'm pushing not at the fingers, I'm pushing just above the knuckles right there. I'm gonna feel a nice stretch through the top of the forearm, maybe even up to that outside elbow where people typically get tennis elbow. And then notice how I can also deviate the wrists. When I deviate the wrist, I might feel it in a little different spot. Sometimes some people will be like, oh, I don't really feel anything right here. Well, then deviate the wrist so that now my pinky is kind of out the side. And now when I push down, you're gonna feel a little different. Even if you kind of change the angle of your arm like that, you might feel the stretch like, oh, okay, now I really feel it. Okay, so just get a gentle stretch, especially if it's an acute pain. You don't want to stretch to the point of pain. You just want to get a gentle stretch, okay? 20 seconds there, maybe 20 seconds with the wrist deviated a little bit more to the other side. And then like that, 3 sets of 20 seconds should be good. Now you've done the massage and the stretches. Now we're gonna jump to the strengthening exercises. You're just gonna get a dumbbell. Usually pretty lightweight is gonna be enough for a lot of people. This is 5 pounds. That might even be too much for some people. But here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna support underneath like this. You don't need a table and everything. Sometimes you see people doing it with their hand over a table. You could really just be doing this, just standing. You just got your arm like this. You're supporting with the other arm. You lift up and you go back down nice and controlled. When you go up, you can go as fast as you want, but when you go down, I want you to take about 3 seconds to go down. Okay, you're gonna work that eccentric, and you're gonna do 3 sets of 12 to 15. All right, then we're also gonna flip it around after that, and you're gonna do 3 sets of 12 to 15 this way. Okay, so we're working both sides of the forearm, and then once you're done with those, you can also kind of superset these so you don't have to like rest for a whole minute in between the sets. You can do you can do a set like this, and then while that side's resting, you can do a set like this. That way you don't waste time. Then we're gonna do something, this is kind of a fancy mechanism, but basically it's a hammer. So if you have a hammer at home, you just take it and you're just going to do this motion. This is called supination. This is called pronation. And what I really want to see is that people go slow at these end ranges. Through the middle part, I'm not too picky about you going that slow, but once you start getting like down here, once you go nice and slow, nice and controlled, that's where the muscle's going to be working the most. Okay, it's going to be harder the lower you hold the handle, so be careful. Start off holding right there. If that feels too easy, then go down a little bit on the handle, and then you're going to feel a good amount more tension or torque. Now also, I want you to kind of keep your shoulder in check, because if you just let your shoulder go, you're gonna, I don't want your shoulder to be rotating. I want all of this to be coming from the forearm, keeping that shoulder stable. I think a lot of times people get elbow issues because their shoulder is not stable. So that's what I want you to do. Keep it like that, keep it locked. You can support with your hand, but you probably don't have to, especially once you get used to it. And go slow at those end ranges. Try to do 3 sets of 12 to 15 on that as well. In between sets, when you're resting, you can be doing these. This is ulnar deviation, so you just got your elbow straight and you're deviating at the wrist towards your ulna. That's why it's called ulnar deviation. Ulna is that bone on your pinky side of your elbow. And boom, just like that, okay? And that's also 3 sets of 12 to 15. And then this is radial deviation. You're deviating the wrist towards the radius. And this is probably gonna be a bit tougher. So I'd recommend you hold it, choke up on it at first. Make sure you can get 12 without pain. And then you can always choke down on it, make it a little bit more difficult. But the key is that you're getting full range, and you should feel this really working this part of your forearm. Okay, that's it.